This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Second round pick and a third and a first rounder and Xavier Howard, and if you give that for Burrow, you're a dumbass. Steve LaFrance says, should Miami think about Cam Newton? No, they should not. Cam Newton is not, at this point, you don't know how healthy he is, and he has to run in order to be effective. And he takes too much of a beating. And then you also have to have a quarterback behind him that can run the same kind of offense, because you don't want to be changing offenses in the middle of a season. So I just don't see Cam Newton being an option for Miami. We've talked about this before, but it just makes no sense whatsoever for Cam Newton. Go young. That's where you got your old quarterback right now. He's your bridge guy. Cam Newton's 31. No reason to bring him in as a bridge. You got your bridge guy in Fitz. Go get a guy now that can learn from Fitz and become the guy down the line. So whether you want to take a chance on Tua, go ahead, or draft Anthony Gordon or whatever, man. James Morgan, Nate Stanley, Davidson, you name it, whatever. It's a bunch of guys that you can draft later on. Jacob Eason's another guy. Okay?
Honestly, man, more and more we talk about it, and I think about it, because of the risk with those three guys that we're going to have left to choose from at 5. I don't want any part of a quarterback in the draft unless it's a project guy, and straight up, go sign Jameis Winston. You know? And that's it.
And they may.
Do that right there draft. And done.
And they may. That you never know. And listen, for those of you out there, because I'm always asked this, and I want to make sure I throw it out there so you guys will know, and then you can, obviously you can rip me for it, which is always a cool thing. It's always a fun thing to get ripped when you're wrong. That I always, I really enjoy those kind of things.
That's something you live for, man?
Yes. So let me give you, since I live for giving you material that you can come back and rip me for, let me give you on the quarterback side, just in case if you haven't, here are the quarterbacks that I like, okay? Yes, if I had the number 1 pick, I would take Joe Burrow, obviously. At number 5, I am not taking Tua, and I'm not taking Herbert. I would take an offensive lineman. But I do understand if the Dolphins take Tua, they've got 13 more picks. They can still have an enormous draft without that pick. And then that pick could be icing on the cake and make it one of the greatest drafts of all time. Or you just, hey, you swung, you missed, whatever. The other guy I do like is Jordan Love. But I like Jordan Love at 18 in the draft. Okay, not at 5. He's too much of a project. I would take a chance at 18. Anthony Gordon, I like him also. Late second to third rounder. I like Jacob Eason, late second to third rounder. Okay, I like Nate Stanley. I think he's somewhere between a 4th and a 5th rounder. I like Kevin Davidson out of Princeton. He's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of a 4th to 5th rounder. I like James Morgan from FIU. I think he's somewhere between a 4th or 5th round quarterback. Maybe even sneaks in. I could see Davidson and Morgan sneaking into the 3rd.
I was going to say I heard one of the NFL or ESPN draft prognosticators saying that Morgan's stock is rising.
Yeah, and because he's got touch, man. He's got accuracy, and you can't teach accuracy. I really believe that. You either have it or you don't. So Morgan's one of those guys. So those are the other quarterbacks that I like in this draft and how I like them, where I like them. Okay? Because, a lot of people are, I know that if Anthony Gordon, blows up and he's taken, I don't know, late first, somebody said, well, but you had him in the second, and they'll want to take a shot at me or whatever. But I'm just saying, Gordon is a kid that I like too out of Washington State. I would take a chance on him. All these guys are projects. And so there's a good chance you'll miss on most of these guys. But I always pick a couple of these kind of guys because one of them is going to come through. I don't know which one because, as you all know, it's a crapshoot. But these are guys that I do like on this team. There's also another guy that's kind of interesting that I think he's kind of like a 5th to 6th rounder, and that's Jake Luton out of Oregon State.